So some of the things that we thought we have learned from psychology, it seems like we didn't really know, right? Psychology has been going through this crisis of replication. There are many studies that were quite famous that I think we maybe should not have relied on. We know now. The study that if you adopt a power pose, you stand in a particular pose that suggests power for just 1 minute, that's going to change your testosterone levels, your cortisol levels, and also your behavior, leading people to make riskier bets than so. That seems to have been not replicated. And there's a number of other studies.
Wait a second. So that's Amy Cuddy's study. You know, that when a study doesn't replicate, it doesn't mean the hypothesis was wrong. It just means that the replication didn't provide evidence for it being true. It doesn't provide evidence against the hypothesis.
Right. So we don't know it then, though, right? We don't know that the hypothesis is true.
You look at people across the board and you have somebody who's standing tall, who is speaking reasonably fast, who's sure of themselves. There are things about that person that are very different from, we've all been there, where you're afraid to speak and you're sort of, looking like, you don't know if you're going to be insulted or punished or whatever. How could that not have an effect? So, so there may be mitigating circumstances, but I don't want to throw out the baby with the bath. I don't know the study that didn't replicate it. If it's one study that found it, one study that didn't, I don't know where I'd put my money.
I think there was more than one.
So do we have any reasons to choose one thing against the other?
Well, that's an interesting question. That it depends on how you understand that thing. So if you understand the way most people do most things out there, these are good things and I have to kill myself, step over people in order to get them. These are bad things. I have to run as fast as I can to avoid them. Once you recognize that whether it's good or bad is really very much within your control, you can just be still. Next time you're stressed, ask yourself, is it a tragedy or an inconvenience? And now that doesn't mean there aren't real tragedies, but for most of us, I missed the bus, I, screwed up the project, I hit the car. These are, so what? And as soon as you ask them, you say, yeah, it wasn't such a big deal. You can become more yourself.